How do you navigate the challenge with wanting to expand in business, but at the same time also feel a little bit safe? If you're building a business online with your content, with following your heart, no doubt you know that living on your edge, living on the edge of expansion and following the energy of possibility is what's needed for your growth. However, these patterns do come up. The patterns around needing to feel safe, not wanting to be judged, right? Sticking with what's familiar and comfortable. So how do you navigate that? How do you find the balance and the blend so that the sides of you aren't just reckless, but then also how do you consistently grow in a way that's in your expansion? These are the sort of questions that we came up with and that I was asking a group of spiritual entrepreneurs who stayed back from the weekly collaborative call in the Serving Circle. And we did some group coaching. We just did some questions and some brainstorming all around this. So what you're gonna really find out here is what are the questions you need to ask yourself to know that you've got that balance right. The balance between in your expansion, living life on the edge and living to a place where you can look back on your life and say, you know what, I gave it my all, while also acknowledging there is a side of you who does need to feel safe, need to feel comfortable and familiar. So thanks to all the contributors here. I'll put some of the links below if you want to connect with some people who speak here. But of course it's here and in the Serving Circle on Facebook, where you help elevate the consciousness of the planet through the success of your spiritual business. So if you're a spiritual entrepreneur, be sure to subscribe. Love it when you support the content, of course, and I'll see you on Facebook in the Serving Circle, where you can start collaborating with your soul tribe. Let's dive in. These are the questions that I have for my clients recently, and it's been going on in my head. So what's top of mind for me is, what does life look like for you if you're living on the edge? If you're living on the edge of what's possible, if you're taking the actions and making the decisions where your mind's like, holy shit, I can't believe we're doing this. That's what I think the energy that your business needs. Your business always needs energy of growth and expansion. What I find most people do is they're trying to grow while almost debating with themselves of how much growth they want, how much they want to live life on the edge, while still kind of feeling just safe enough. They're like, I know I need growth. I know I need expansion. However, how much expansion and growth am I willing to put up with? Show of hands, who knows what I'm talking about? It's the, I'll start a podcast, Facebook group, I'll start this thing, I'll contact this person, I'll play big, but only at a certain amount. And I'll only let these 3 people know. Right? It really doesn't work that way. If we really want to live from a place of expansion, if we really want to live from a place that's this energy of possibility, it's asking yourself the question, what would my life look like if I knew I was living on the edge? What would my life look like if I knew I was living life on the edge of my expansion? Where at the end of my life, I would look back and think, I gave it all, right? I followed my heart, I followed my leaps, I followed my calling, and I took the leaps even when it went beyond what my mind sees is safe. Now, here's why I think this is so important. One, we're starting to define a different meaning to safety. I found this when I was in my job, when I was working at a restaurant, and it wasn't my calling anymore. Why did I go to the job? Because it was safe. All right, it was very quote unquote safe to my mind and societal norms. I was getting a consistent paycheck despite how small it was. It was consistent. Now let's ask ourselves a question. Well, who knows? Who knows what it's like to go to a job or to follow a particular pattern only because it's safe, only because it's secure, comfortable, familiar. Yeah, exactly. So let's ask ourselves a question. When you're there following that pattern of safety, how safe does it feel in your heart? It feels very safe to your mind. Inside in your soul, how safe does it actually feel? Right? It doesn't feel safe at all. It feels like you're meant for something else and you're meant for more and you're not following it. However, when I left the job, my mind's freaking out because my mind's like, this isn't safe. Being an online entrepreneur, having an inconsistent paycheck, not knowing what's going to happen with the world of social media and big tech, and am I actually good enough to do my own marketing, business building? Who knows? However, it was very unsafe to my mind, but following the journey of my heart's calling full time felt very safe in here. And I imagined living a life. What would my life look like if I was just following my heart full time and taking these big, scary leaps, but without judgment and resistance on what it will lead to? What would that feel like here? And what would it feel like here? So I really want to help question what it means to follow safety. Because I think as we heighten in consciousness, we're starting to change the definition of what safe, secure, and familiar is. So question to you, if you want to write this down or have it in your mind, what does that life look like for you? What would your business look like if you were really living your life on the edge? If you were really living life to your expansion? If you were making your decisions and actions based on your true empowerment? What would that look like for you? Who would you contact? What type of marketing would you do? What type of program, podcast, Facebook group, community, content, what would you do when you're feeling in your expansion, following your heart's leap wholeheartedly? And are you doing that? If not, why not? If you're not taking those leaps, why not? If you're not taking those leaps, there may be some emotions you feel like are on the other side that you don't want to feel. Embarrassment, shame, fear, uncertainty, confusion, the all-knowing feeling of not being enough. All those emotions that come up. My question to you, would you be willing to feel those? Would you be willing to go on the experience of feeling and healing those experiences in order to live the life that you know you're meant to live? You know you're called to live. So who's got either a question or an example regarding this topic? Or does anyone want to share what they feel this living life on the edge would look like? What comes up for you? Anyone want to have a share or have any questions? Larry, you're in.
2 years ago, I got cancer, and thank God I'm now cancer free. But 6 months of dealing with cancer, focus is one. And I asked the question at then the age of 77, I don't have forever to live. If I have a dream, and I do, if I have goals, and I do, I better start investing in them now. And I better start thinking big and being bold. And that wasn't my conditioning for my 50 years of my professional career in academia, teaching and administration. But and then I realized, wait a second, I have to practice what I preach, or where's my credibility? So I have created a vision, which it did make it onto the chat scroll, and that's what I got to do. And whatever energy I have, and the more I work at it, the more energy I have. And I look around at other people at 78, and they're not doing much. There are exceptions, and I meet them and we connect with each other. But most people are just waiting for death and hoping for the best. This could be mainly unconscious. But I believe that we can improve the world. I believe that I can be young and vital and contributing by doing something big and putting energy into it. And then I become a role model, a poster child, a poster elder for my clients. So if before 77 you make a commitment to thinking big, I salute you. But it took me a while to reach that conclusion.
Well done. Well, you're on the journey now, and no doubt every step along the way has brought you closer to this, where you're starting to live really from a place of passion of what's possible. I think that's what's I think that's the sort of questions that bring up things that are uncomfortable for people. What's possible? What's really possible? And how good can this get? We're not used to asking ourselves those sort of questions of how good could this get? How good could this get? What sort of business can I build? Who can I connect with? What sort of things can I contribute? And really, if I take those steps, what's possible here? And we're really not used to doing that. We're really not used to having those sort of questions go through our mind. But really, what's amazing and what's cool is that the business building journey has unlimited ways in which we can experience life, connect with people, contribute, grow, love more deeply. And that's what this living on the edge, living at your edge of your expansion really does have. Anik, did you want to add something here?
Yeah, I just want to, if that's okay, share just a tiny bit of my experience on that topic. I just ended up staying on the call. I was questioning where I'm staying, but it might be of value to add this space is, like, for me, I have taken some massive leaps in my life, in my business, and I'm just starting to embody a little bit of consistency, and I've been doing that work for a fucking long time, excuse my French, but it's just been a long journey of this kind of like wavy, like really big success. Like, I'd be on a TEDx stage and everyone would come and say, I'd launch the book and do the thing. And then I will go back to the familiar zone of what my nervous system, my body remembers, that I've got to stay the little Anik because I'm not worthy of shining to, which comes a dynamic with my mother. Anyway, there's a lot of shit to talk about there. But anyway, but what I wanted to say is, like, sure, having these big questions, taking leap of faith, all of that. But for me now, where I'm at is, and it might serve like, sometimes throwing yourself on a parachute if you haven't learned how to jump, if you haven't had the right mentor to teach you how to jump on a parachute and have the right equipment and be well trained physically, mentally, and emotionally. Don't take that leap, because it's going to hurt bad when you fall and your parachute doesn't open up. You know what I mean? There is, like, I agree with you, Tyson. Like, I channel pure consciousness. I love that. I mean, I'm crazy about metaphysics. I'm passionate about helping people transform, believe in themselves, tuning into their heart. I'm a magician. I create epic things in my life. But the safety bit is an important bit. Like, you can't skip completely the safety bit. And everyone's journey is different. And yes, jump in a parachute, even if you're scared, but make sure that you kind of, that your nervous system, your body can follow, that your physicality, your human self can follow. Even if you don't have all the answers, that's fine. Does that make sense what I'm sharing? I mean, I'm sharing my own experience, okay? Because I've leaped, you know what I mean? I wanted to get married, I got married, like, you know, but I mean, 5 years later, the patterns, the rubbish came. Okay, I wanted to do the TEDx. Okay, I did it. Like, when I want to do something, I do it. I do it when I'm passionate about it, when I'm excited about it, when my heart says, go Anik, go Anik, you love this, go, 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 go. I go do it. Spirit guides say, yeah, come on, we help you. But then there's this sabotage energy that's living in your DNA and your cells, and it's healable, it's curable, 100%. I had a near-death experience, and I'm in love with a guy who's 15 years younger than me. I'm vibing as, like, you know, my joy is palpable. Like, I never thought I would bounce back so graciously, and you know, I look like a 95 years old lady before. Like, if you would have seen me, like, you know, I mean, I was on my way out. But anyway, bottom line, what I wanted to share with you is sure, quantum leap, sure, ask yourself big question, sure, go into the unknown zone, yet the safety piece, without being attached to ego, drama stuff, is kind of a, you know, there's a way to do it that actually hone yourself, that honor yourself, like really do it with honoring yourself with the right support. And that, for that to occur, you need to really trust your intuition.
Beautiful.
Is that resonating with anyone there?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, yes.
It's sort of, I think this is the beautiful thing of this is a beautiful thing of really listening to your heart and following what's in your expansion. Because one of the things that we know, like what you're suggesting here, is that when you take the leap, you also have to drop the judgments of what it may lead to, right? Because your heart may guide you to things knowing that it's going to guide you to a deep lesson that you need. And that's also a reality, is that your heart will guide you to, yes, the big wins and the big things that you want to see in your life, but also the lessons that you know you need. And we can't place judgments on the expectations of what will happen next. But it is true, sometimes when we're taking big leaps, it'll be in your expansion to not leap where you're not called to leap, right? And you may need to have some structures in place. You may need to do some extra learning, mentoring, whatever it may be. And that's up to you to feel. It's up to you to feel what's in your expansion. And if you're blindly taking leaps all the time, it may be in your expansion to be like, hey, you know what? I'm going to think this one through. I'm going to use my brain now and think, what the hell am I doing? And how can I put some boundaries in place so that I'm not just following some sort of ego leap or ego pattern or anything like that, but I'm really following my heart. And hey, your heart sometimes guides you to some small steps time and time and time again. Your heart will say, hey, sit down, have a drink of water. or step out into nature for a minute, or really take some time to breathe right now. Just meditate and get still for a moment. Your heart doesn't say, hey, reach out to Oprah and book in a call for Thursday at 3 p.m. Doesn't always say things like that. It says, hey, take a nap or connect with this one person. Dawn's like, naps. Yes. That's what it's all about. It's all about this sort of energy of consistently asking your heart, what feels aligned, what feels expansive, what feels like me living on the edge. And sometimes that is the small steps. Sometimes that is acknowledging that we need to be safe in this world while consistently growing. We're here to experience everything. We're here to experience the expansion, the growth, the love, the contribution, and also the safety, protection, the planning, the being cautious. We're here to experience everything. It's time to ask ourselves what may be an overdeveloped pattern for you. Which side may be an overdeveloped pattern? May it be that your heart's always calling you to a leap, and then you never take it, or you're trying to take it but from a place of safety? It'll be in your expansion to take a bigger leap and to trust, right? Or is your overdeveloped pattern just to consistently take these leaps regardless of thinking it through? It'll be in your expansion to not go with that overdeveloped pattern and to start planning, think things through, get a mentor, do some learning. Dawn, what you got for us?
I was just going to say, really, the only safety is just in trusting yourself. Like, you providing that sense of stability and security, that you are trusting where you're being guided, and you are finding that balance between, okay, I need to do, and yeah, I need to take a freaking nap right now. So that sense of safety is all like from within. It's not external. I think so many times I know I do. I'm like, I want some validation over there. It's like, no, I just need to ask myself and, trust the guidance that I receive. So for that.
Beautiful. Well said. Palin, you got something for us?
Sure. I think the discussion now, actually, I can relate to recently. I think about 2 months ago, I had an opportunity jump on that I was really reaching out to a lot of people and gaining a lot of attraction and business. And it went so fast and quick. And I was very excited. But then I think after things started coming down, I started feeling that resistance in me and that a little bit of anxiety in me. So I was trying to figure out, is that something that's not really in alignment with my heart, or is this something that I am fearful of? So it took me 2 months. And finally, yesterday and today, I made that decision. But now you're talking about this, it made me wonder again, it's like if I have made the right decision or not. And it's been going on. I feel like my head and my heart are going to different directions, and there's a lot of pushing and pulling. So my question for you would be, how can you tell sometimes if things all going very well, like it seems everything is going perfect on the surface, but I don't feel that, that safety, or not even the safety, not the word. It's just, I don't feel it's completely in alignment with my heart. And then I decided to let go. And now I'm wondering if I made that wrong decision. Maybe I should just go ahead and push it. And maybe I was on the edge of expansion that I didn't know, What would be the insight?
One thing that I walk through with my clients is that really being very specific with what feels expansive and what feels contracting. because it doesn't have anything to do with the decision itself, right? The decision itself, our mind can get into an illusion that there's a right or wrong decision, right? Our mind can have that illusion. When you look back on your life, what matters a lot less about what you actually do is the energy you do it from. Because life, there's many decisions we make every day of our life, compounded that over weeks, months, years, decades. You're going to go on a journey where your heart guides you to where you need to be. Your heart will always guide you where you need to be, the things you need to learn, the experiences you need to have, the people you need to meet, what you're here to contribute, how you're here to grow into the version of you that you're called to become. And so what matters least to me is the decision itself, and more about where you make the decision from, and more making the decision from your expansion. It doesn't need to be every single time, but just more and more making decisions like, let's do something that feels in my expansion. Let's do something that feels aligned. Let's really ask my heart and ask, okay, does this feel contracting, where I'm following a pattern of maybe overdeveloped safety? Or does it feel expansive and scary to my mind, meaning there's going to be some things I need to heal along the way, and also some sides of me I need to reclaim, some strengths I need to reclaim, some sides of me that have resources that I need to reclaim along this way. So what are you feeling into there when you add that to the conversation?
Well, eventually I at least made the decision that this is all meant to be. This is all just the process that I have to go through. And so I accepted it. And because of that, I feel more peaceful. So eventually, I guess I decided I need to get out of my head and drop into my heart. And I just don't have the expectation now, what's going to be next. I kind of decided to let it go, let it be, and then see what it will bring to me.
Now, how does that feel in your body?
I feel so much more relaxed. I mean, this thing, like I said, in the past couple months has been keeping me up at night, many nights. Although I'm making quick money, all just went very fast and well. But just I feel my body has been kind of screaming at me because I realized I got so burned out.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's the it really is. It really can offer a lot of peace. If we're working from a pattern that says life isn't giving me what I need to control it. I need to take actions. I need to take my actions and put it in my hands because life isn't doing it for me. Life doesn't have my back. And so for you to have the courage to say, you know what, let's let go, let's surrender, let's allow, and trust where I'm guided is where I'm meant to be, can offer a deep level of peace because it allows the ego to sort of finally drop from the equation. And you say, hey, what if I follow my heart? What if I take my leaps? What if I follow my expansion and not judge what happens next, but just know that it's for me, even if my mind can't see it? Now that will offer a deep level of peace that says, hey, life has my back. Even if I can't see it, life has my back. And you can trust your higher self with following that path, rather than think of the difference that compared to this underlying unconscious belief, life doesn't have my back, therefore I need to pick up the crap and I need to take it into my hands. And therefore, if I make the wrong mistake or take the wrong action step or whatever, then I'm no longer, in my highest, and I'm no longer being safe.
Yeah. Thank you. That's very reassuring. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, you can feel it. You can feel it in here that it's reassuring.
I feel it in my body that right away, the minute I made that decision that, just drop it.
Beautiful. What other questions do we have? Anyone want to add anything in terms of their own experience or questions or how this relates to them? Anything that anyone wants to share that's on their heart? You've all got some insights. Beautiful.
And I just got a question, Tyson. So, what
Sure.
is your way to embody that inner knowing of when to expand and when to pause, and when it's coming from, and also is it coming from ego conditioning, or it's coming from the truth of your soul, of your heart?
Yeah, great question. Great question. As you guys know, I love sitting in silence. I do it all the time for hours. And it really offers a deep skill to consistently surrender to what's coming up and be aware of what patterns are there. But one thing that I ask myself is the questions around the fear jar. So some of you may know some of my work and the analogy I use, but the fear jar is an acronym for what are my fears? So what is it that I fear about this? And then the acronym of JAR is judgments. So where am I placing judgments on what's good, bad, right, wrong, should happen, shouldn't happen? A is for attachments. Where am I attached to certain outcomes? Am I attached to what happens next? And the next one is where am I in resistance? Where am I in resistance to life? Where are some things that I think, oh my God, that shouldn't be there, or that shouldn't happen, whatever it is. So they're the questions I ask myself as soon as I sit in silence, or as soon as I'm about to make a decision. And like what you're suggesting, before I make a decision, I ask myself, okay, let's sit in silence and say, are there some fears here? Are there some things my mind doesn't want to have happen? Or are there certain judgments that I notice within myself? Do I notice some attachments to outcomes? Am I energetically attached to what's going to happen? It might be, I need to make money to feel safe, or I need acknowledgement for me to feel enough, or whatever. Am I attached to something energetically and emotionally attached to it? And then where am I in resistance to life? And then if there's something for me to look at, I'll welcome it. I'll welcome it in my body, surrender, heal, do these feel to heal meditations. And then I start to clear what's ready to be seen. And therefore, more and more, as that's cleared, I can start making a decision from a place of wholeness and a place of healed. And then I can trust my heart and my intuition, because I know it's not coming through the filter of certain fears and judgments and expectations, assumptions. So I use a lot of silence, and I use those deep questions and deep inquiry, so that when I know it feels expansive, it really is from that place, of my heart. Does that help?
Great. Thanks for sharing that.
Sure. Did you have any other questions on that process, or do you have any ways in which we can help apply this for you?
Are you talking to me or everybody?
Yes. Yep. For you.
Well, I suppose I have my own practice, connecting to my guide. I mean, I've got a meditation on Insight Timer called How to Tap into Your Inner Wisdom. I call it the Ancient Mama process. So, obviously, I mean, I've been tuning in. So it's constantly the tuning in. But if the vessel is not clean, like if I ate crap, or I mean, you know what I mean, I'm human. Like if I'm beside myself, sometimes I am, then the guidance wouldn't come as clearly and as fast as I would like it to. So it requires yeah, it's a diligent practice, right? It's like you've got to be committed to your own well-being and to your own soul's work. You've got to be 100% present with yourself, and sometimes we all fail. Sometimes we the ego's got a it's like Velcro, you know, you just wants to really hang there, and yeah, it's a little goblin, little monster. But God, we love it anyway, huh? But anyways, yeah, no, it's good. Like it's good to like that sort of conversation is healthy. It's all about, to me, it's well-being, you know, to be in that sort of solid sacred container where you feel safe. We all have our ways to do it, and we all need to be supported, and we support others, but we also need a support system in place as well. And as we grow, it changes. But yeah, there's a lot of wisdom in my soul. But yeah, it's just there's also, you know, a crackpot Annick. A crackpot Annick who's got her stuff, and as we all do anyway. Yeah. No, it's very valuable. Thank you.
No problem. Thanks for your input as well. Thanks for your wisdom. So we've got some key questions there for you guys. So feel free to write anything down that you know is a reminder for you on this journey, and then see how you can apply that to your marketing, to your networking, to your business building, to your content creation. See what flows through in terms of your expansion, your love, your deep peace, whatever that is, and see how you can apply this. Right? Apply this to your leaps and where your heart's guiding you. And if you if you just follow that without harsh expectations and attachments on what will happen next, I think they're the ingredients for the magic to take place. Right? They're the real ingredients for you to really start to see what life's about. Thanks for being here, everyone. I appreciate it. I'll see you guys next time. If you guys want to unmute and say goodbye, feel free to do so. If you want to save the chat, do that as well. But I'll see you guys same day and time next week, okay?
Lovely evening. Thank you so much.
Nice.
This is
Thank you.
fantastic.
Thanks, guys.
Oh,
Bye. Thank you.
Take care.
bye.